Hello, welcome. My name is Lauren with Lauren Teaches Flute, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're talking about the middle register, all things middle register, particularly for those of you that are perhaps very familiar with the lower notes, kind of from maybe low F in the staff to the D in the staff, but you're starting to learn the notes just above the staff and you find it inconsistent or it sounds tight, or sometimes you crack to the low register. That's who I'm thinking about when I'm making this video. But this can also be very helpful for you if you're just looking to improve your sound and learn more about the mechanics of playing in the middle register. It can be helpful just in general for this register of the flute as well. Before I get into this video, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here if you like my content. And know that I am also offering private Skype lessons online. So if you'd like to work one-on-one with me, I'll leave more info about that in the description below. Okay, so the middle register. Let's talk about the mechanics of playing in the middle register and how to really develop a more consistent tone quality. Okay, so there's 4 components that are pretty standard for playing in the middle register. So they are air direction, air speed, the amount of the embouchure hole that you're covering, and the shape inside the mouth. That's the 4. The one that I feel like I could also sneak in is, gosh, I know I say it almost every video now, but tension creeps in, so make sure, are you holding excess tension that you don't need, that's inhibiting your sound in some ways. So that's in the background there somewhere, but I'm going to keep it these 4 for this video. I also want to say the other piece of this that I'm going to leave out today is dynamics, or the volume you're playing. I'm just going to make this video for medium playing, mezzo forte, a medium volume of playing. Okay, so that's the other piece I'm not going to necessarily talk about, because that brings in more things that makes it a little bit more complex. So air direction is the first point. Low register, you're angling more down, and middle register, you're going to be angling more across. You can practice your air direction, holding your arm out here, keep your head facing forward, and angle down as low as you can, and more across right here. So play around with your air direction, moving your lips, and you can even use a mirror. A lot of times when people do this, I see them go do interesting things they wouldn't necessarily do on the flute. So keep your pouty kind of flute embouchure when you're doing this. Okay, and experiment with your air direction. The air speed. When we're staying mezzo forte and just medium volume, the air speed will increase a little bit when going from the low to the middle register. So if I'm keeping the same volume, I'm going to be using a bit faster air in the middle register. So remember that piece as well. Coverage amount of the embouchure hole. How much do we cover? So in general, on the low register, I like to say 1/3. In the middle register, we're covering a little bit more, because if you notice when we're changing our air direction, so I don't know if I could do it like this. Look at my bottom lip. It's coming forward, and so as a result, it's going to cover a little bit more of the embouchure hole. I'm not rolling in my flute. I'm not like taking my flute away and repositioning it on my lips. It just so happens that I'm covering a little bit more because of the way my lips are shaped, or what my lips are doing and how they're moving from the low to the middle register. This is Acadiana. It's a really great, amazing book on the mechanics of flute playing. And they have a, oh gosh, I think I almost broke broke the book by doing that. But they have little diagrams here. This is on page 72. And I think this is a really good one to kind of put in the back of your mind and kind of memorize it and refer to it. But this is coverage of the embouchure hole. The low register, again, I like to say about 1/3. The middle register, 1/2. The high register, I like to say 2/3. Sometimes I do want to give a little bit of a side note to that, because in general, just working one-on-one with people, I notice that a lot of people tend to lean towards covering too much, where their sound sounds small. It might be really clear, but it's really small and it's really covered, and it might even squeak to the high notes sometimes. And so I don't want you to fall into the trap of covering too much. Okay? So just make sure your sound sounds balanced, resonant, ringy, open, and has all those qualities to it. And that you're not covering the sound, making it sound very small and covered and limited and closed up. So to summarize, cover about 1/2 of the embouchure hole, maybe a little bit less, but closer to 1/2 of the embouchure hole in the middle register. The fourth component is the shape inside of the mouth. In general, this is another little thing you can refer to, is the low register I like to think of as wide, a very wide shape in the mouth. Middle register I like to think of as very round, and the high register I like to think of as very tall. So think of having a more round shape in the mouth. That's why I often say in my videos, are your teeth clenching? Are your teeth too close together? That is often the case when going from the low to the middle register, is the teeth are a little bit too close together, because maybe the player is so used to playing in the low register and they didn't necessarily need to open their teeth as much. Okay, so those are the four components. To summarize, air direction, you're angling your air slightly more across. Keep the lips pouty and puckered like this. Make sure you're not doing anything weird like rolling in like this or doing this, but they're pouty, puckered, and supple. Okay? The air speed is increasing. And yeah, you can actually practice that as well. You can feel the air speed increase on your arm if you want to practice on your arm. Feel the air get faster. The coverage amount. Your lips are moving forward and pouting a little bit more for the middle register. So you're going to end up covering more, not by rolling in, not by looking down, not by doing any of those things, but simply by moving your lips just a little bit more forward. Another analogy I like to think of for that is a drawstring bag. If you pull a drawstring bag, the aperture of the bag moves forward and it gets smaller. So that's another thing you can think about. Because we're doing medium volume, we're not needing to get the aperture super small. That's more if you're playing really soft. But medium volume, you don't have to worry too much about making the aperture smaller, but definitely more across, more forward. I'm not thinking too much about the aperture getting smaller when I'm playing just medium volume. So anyway, the fourth piece is the shape in the mouth. Round shape in the mouth. If you're playing an F scale, that's actually a good scale to use because it is low to middle. It's a good range. You can actually start to be aware of the shape inside your mouth. Feel the sides of your mouth are more open in the low register, and feel the air in the center of your mouth more and more as you go into the middle register. So I really want to keep this simple. I know it's a lot of components and it seems like a lot, but the 4 components again: air direction, air speed, coverage amount, and shape inside the mouth. So those are the 4 pieces to really investigate and experiment with when you're starting to work on the middle register. And if I want to simplify it a little bit more, the main thing, if you only take away maybe 2 things from this video and want to just focus on 2 things, I would say these 2 things. As you're going from the low register to the middle register, make sure your bottom lip goes forward. Bring your bottom lip forward so that your air is angling more across. More times than not, I feel like that's one of the things I see a lot. I didn't mean to rhyme, but I did. Okay, so is just the air direction's not changing. So make sure you're changing the air direction. And the second thing I would like to say is to relax. And I know I say that a lot, but that would go along with the shape in the mouth, making sure it's round. That might look like more space between the back teeth. So, and that might look like not tightening the lips. If you're really tightening the lips, remind yourself and start moving in the direction of pouty, puckered, supple lips like this, okay? So those are the 2 most common things that I find myself saying when I'm working with my students on their middle register notes and making them more consistent. So those are the components, those are the mechanics of the middle register. I hope this is helpful to you. And if you'd like an exercise, a good exercise would be to actually treat a scale like a tone exercise. So if I'm playing the F scale, I might do 3 notes, F, G, A, and just play around with that last note, play around with the air direction, play around with the air speed and all those things, and then go back 1, G, A, B flat, A, B flat, C, so you can play around with that exercise. And that's a good scale to do it with, or you could do it on a C scale, 1 octave C scale, from the C in the staff to the C above the staff to go a little bit even higher, going into the high register. But yeah, treat it like a tone exercise and play with these 4 components that I mentioned in this video, and see what you find and see what changes and adjustments you can make to improve your middle register and get it to sound more consistent. So I hope this was helpful and insightful to you. Thank you so much for being here. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe below for more tutorials like this one. Thanks so much for being here, and I will see you in another video very soon. Until next time, take care. Bye.